progress. We speak of advancement. We marvel at our technological achievements, our scientific discoveries, and our societal improvements. We believe we are moving forward, leaving behind the shadows of our past. Yet, human history whispers a different tale. A tale of cycles, of conflicts reborn. The echoes of past battles resonate through time, reminding us that history often repeats itself. We see it in the rise and fall of empires, the grandeur of Rome, the fortifications of China, the monumental pyramids of Egypt, all testaments to human ambition and the inevitable decline that follows. In the ebb and flow of peace and war, humanity seems trapped. We repeat our mistakes, the same patterns of conflict, the same justifications for violence, the same tragic outcomes. We forget the lessons of the past. Our history books are filled with warnings, yet we often turn a blind eye, choosing to believe that we are different, that we have learned. The 20th century, a testament to this tragic repetition. 2 world wars, unparalleled bloodshed. The trenches of World War I, the devastation of World War II, each a stark reminder of our capacity for destruction. Technological advancements meant to improve lives were twisted into tools of destruction. The same machines that built our cities also built our weapons. The atomic bomb, a chilling symbol of our capacity for self-destruction. A single moment of unimaginable horror, forever etched in our collective memory. After the ashes settled, we vowed never again. We rebuilt our cities, our societies, and our hope. We signed treaties promising a future of peace. But old habits die hard. The seeds of conflict sown deep within our nature began to sprout once more. Disagreements turned into disputes, disputes into battles. We built new systems, new institutions. The United Nations, a beacon of hope in a fractured world. A place where nations could come together to resolve their differences. The United Nations, a beacon of hope in a fractured world. Yet conflicts persisted. Regional wars, proxy battles. The dream of global peace remained elusive. The Cold War, a nuclear standoff that held the world hostage. A time of fear and uncertainty, where the threat of annihilation loomed over every decision. Progress, it seemed, was an illusion. Despite our advancements, the specter of conflict remained ever present, lurking in the shadows of our achievements. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 offered a glimmer of hope, a moment of unity, a symbol of the possibility of a world without division. The end of the Cold War, a victory for peace. But the cycle continued. New conflicts emerged, old hatreds resurfaced. The promise of a peaceful future seemed to slip through our fingers. We are a species drawn to conflict, it seems, bound by our past. Can we break free? The answer remains elusive. Yet in every act of reconciliation, in every peace rally, there lies a glimmer of hope. Perhaps one day we will learn to break the cycle.
We speak of global progress, of technological marvels. We marvel at the advancements in science, the leaps in artificial intelligence, and the wonders of modern engineering, of a world more interconnected than ever before. The internet has bridged distances, allowing instant communication across continents. Yet, this narrative masks a stark reality. Inequality reigns. The glittering facade of progress hides the deep chasms of disparity. The gap between the haves and have-nots widens. In the shadows of opulence, poverty festers. Progress is not a universal experience. While some enjoy the fruits of development, others are left behind, struggling to survive. It is a privilege enjoyed by the few. Look around. The disparity is glaring. We see gleaming skyscrapers casting shadows upon slums. The symbols of wealth and power overshadow the struggles of the marginalized. We witness the wonders of modern medicine, while millions lack access to basic healthcare. Advanced treatments and cutting-edge technology are out of reach for many. The internet connects us, yet billions remain offline, excluded from the digital age. The digital divide exacerbates existing inequalities. This is the paradox of our time: unprecedented progress alongside persistent poverty. The advancements we celebrate are not shared equally. This uneven development is not an accident. It is rooted in history. It is a product of historical forces, of colonialism, of exploitation. The legacies of these injustices continue to shape our world, of systems designed to benefit the few at the expense of the many. These systems perpetuate inequality, creating barriers to progress for the marginalized. We talk of a global community, but the truth is far more fragmented. The promise of globalization has not been fulfilled for all. Some regions race ahead, propelled by technological innovation and economic growth. They become hubs of progress and prosperity. Others lag behind, trapped in cycles of poverty and conflict. This disparity breeds resentment. It fuels instability. The consequences of inequality are far-reaching. It undermines the very notion of global progress. Social unrest and instability are symptoms of deeper systemic issues. Until we address this fundamental imbalance, our efforts for a better world will remain incomplete. True progress requires inclusive development, where no one is left behind.
The human story is not without its optimists. These optimists believe in the inherent goodness of people and the power of collective action. There are those who see our potential for good. They look at the countless acts of kindness and generosity that happen every day, who point to declining rates of violence, to advances in human rights, to the spirit of cooperation that binds us. They believe that these trends are not just statistics, but signs of a deeper, positive shift in human behavior. They argue that we are on a path of progress, however slow and arduous. They see every small step forward as a victory, a testament to our resilience and determination. They cite the abolition of slavery, the expansion of democracy, the fight for equality. These milestones are seen as proof that we can overcome our darkest impulses and create a more just world. They highlight the work of countless individuals and organizations striving to make the world a better place. From grassroots movements to global initiatives, these efforts are seen as beacons of hope. They see our interconnectedness, our shared challenges, as a catalyst for unity. In a world that is increasingly connected, they believe that our common goals can bring us together.
Yet, pessimism casts a long shadow. For every optimist, there is a pessimist who sees the world through a darker lens. The cynics among us see humanity's flaws as insurmountable. They focus on the conflicts and divisions that seem to define our times. They point to the persistence of war, to the rise of nationalism, to the environmental crisis threatening our very existence. These issues are seen as evidence that we are on a path to self-destruction. They argue that we are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. History, in their view, is a cycle of violence and failure that we are unable to break. They see our capacity for greed, for hatred, for self-destruction. These negative traits are seen as fundamental aspects of human nature that we cannot escape. They question our ability to overcome the tribalism that divides us. In a world that is increasingly polarized, they see division as an inevitable outcome. They believe that our technological prowess outpaces our moral development, leading us down a dangerous path. The rapid advancement of technology, in their view, only amplifies our worst tendencies.
Who is right, the optimists or the pessimists? Perhaps the truth lies in a balance between these two perspectives. The answer, perhaps, lies somewhere in between. It is up to us to navigate this complex landscape, to find a way to harness our potential for good while addressing our flaws. The future is not set in stone. It is shaped by our actions and choices. The weight of injustice, systemic flaws, and the seeds of discord. To understand the human condition, we must confront uncomfortable truths. Our world is rife with injustice. Systems of oppression are deeply entrenched. Inequality is not an accident. It is woven into the fabric of our societies. We see it in the legacy of colonialism, which continues to cast a long shadow over the developing world. We see it in the persistence of racism, sexism, and other forms of discrimination that deny individuals their fundamental rights. We see it in the widening gap between rich and poor, both within and between nations. These systemic flaws are not merely unfortunate realities. They are the very seeds of discord. They breed resentment, fuel anger, and create fertile ground for conflict. So long as these injustices persist, the dream of global unity will remain elusive. We cannot hope to achieve lasting peace without addressing the root causes of conflict. This requires a fundamental rethinking of our systems and structures. It demands a commitment to justice, to equality, to the inherent dignity of every human being. Anything less is simply unsustainable.
Beyond the horizon, yet lost at sea. National interest versus global unity. The concept of a unified humanity is a compelling one. It speaks to our shared origins, our common destiny. Yet the reality of our world is one of division. We are fragmented by borders, by languages, by cultures, by ideologies. The nation-state, for all its flaws, remains the dominant form of political organization.
With it comes the concept of national interest, often pursued at the expense of broader global goals. We see this in trade wars, in resource competition, in the reluctance to address transnational challenges such as climate change. The pursuit of national interest, while understandable, often undermines the pursuit of global unity. It creates a zero-sum mentality, where one nation's gain is seen as another's loss. This fosters distrust, competition, and ultimately, conflict.
To achieve true global unity, we must find a way to transcend the limitations of the nation-state. We must recognize our interconnectedness, our shared fate. We must prioritize cooperation over competition, dialogue over discord. This is a daunting task, but one that is essential for our collective survival.